So since I've been making videos about Spare, I've gotten a few comments from people asking, aren't you going to critique him at all? You just seem to be buying into his narrative. I am about to critique him, but chances are, if you think I shouldn't be buying into Harry's narrative, you're also not gonna like the way I'm about to critique him. Because I think we need to talk about the way that Harry seems to have trouble reckoning with his family's troublesome role in history and their problematic attitudes and worldviews today. Is that not what you meant when you wanted me to critique him? I had my first sort of, oh no, Harry moment in the Tom Bradby interview last Sunday. This was when Tom asked him about the accusation that the royal family was racist, and this is also when Harry said, we never said that. Instead, what he claims is that his family has an unconscious bias when it comes to race. But it was the press who were the ones who ascribed the word racism and said that he and Meghan were accusing his family of being racist. Which I do agree with, that last part. But it's that unconscious bias language that didn't sit well with me. Because Harry does go on to explain that unconscious bias is what happens when you exist in a world where these discussions about race just do not happen. And maybe you hold some outdated views, but when they are pointed out to you, then you have an opportunity to learn and grow. Harry also says that racism and unconscious bias are completely separate things, which is not strictly true. Over on my IG, I collaborated with the fantastic account Language Matters to write up an explainer on this. It's very thorough, but I will hit the highlights here and you should go read the rest. Unconscious bias is not intentional. It's in the name, right? But it's a symptom of a world in which racism exists. And once that bias has been pointed out to the person, as it has to the royal family many times over, it's no longer unconscious, right? They've had that opportunity to grow, and if the same things keep happening, they're clearly not taking those opportunities. Unconscious bias and racism are inherently linked. The first is a symptom of the second. That was one instance where I thought Harry maybe had some blinders where it came to his family. Another of these moments came up when I was reading him talk about his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. He's talking about how much he loved and admired her, and then writes, she was, of course, infamous for saying other things. She came from a different era, enjoyed being queen in a way that looked unseemly to some. I saw none of that. She was my Gan-Gan. Those comments that he was referring to could be anything from her remarks about the mixing of the classes being a bad thing to many of the racist remarks that she reportedly made over her long life. But again, Harry seems to have blinders for her and not want to hold her responsible for those things because that's his Gan-Gan. In another passage, he talks about the Koh-i-Noor diamond and says it was, quote, acquired by the British Empire, stolen, some thought. I just wish we could go a little harder, Harry, quite honestly. I know they are your family. I know you are hoping for reconciliation one day, but if we're gonna hold them accountable, let's really hold them accountable.
Life filled with love and laughter. He and Meghan became partners in every sense, supporting each other through every challenge. Together,